This is something that I'm pretty stoked on. Everybody loves Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
I've never been crazy about it because Zelda has always been primarily a 2D game for me. But somebody is actually turning Ocarina of Time into a 2D Link to the Past style game.
Really?
Do we have some footage of this? Let's show this off. I really hope we have the footage because last time I said roll the footage, that didn't. Hey, look at that! It's the footage. So yeah, this is obviously a fan creation, and by showing it off on this show, someone's going to be getting a cease and desist real quick. But yeah, no, this is awesome. This is
Well, yeah, hopefully not. I mean, I'm right there with you, Max. I've always actually really loved 3D Zelda games, but I grew up playing 2D Zelda games. Link to the Past was one of the first games I actually even played for Super Nintendo, and it totally changed my perception of what graphics could be like at the time. I know you look at stuff like this now in 2016, you're like, oh, but this is actually, in some communities they would call this a demake, but I actually really enjoy seeing classic scenes from Ocarina of Time from a slightly different perspective. Like Gorons, for example, were never in Link to the Past, and here they are. We've got the whole town setting, and even the beginning with Ganon coming across the drawbridge at night. Like, it's such a really awesome scene in Ocarina of Time, but you never really think about it like looking like this. And in some ways, I would say A Link to the Past graphics have aged a lot better than Ocarina of Time.
I think that's one thing worth noting is that there's obviously a ton of nostalgia for 8 and 16-bit graphics, but part of the reason that they hold up so well is that the art direction was concise enough that you could tell what things were supposed to be at that fidelity. And when we made the jump into 3D and polygons, I think a lot of places were look at GoldenEye, for instance. A lot of stuff was just sort of like, yeah, force it. Yeah, just who cares if it doesn't hold up? Like, just show off the graphics as much as you can. It was kind of like trying to flex rather than trying to actually like think creatively.
There's also that notion of like things being. I mean, when I was pretty young. I was in high school when Ocarina of Time came out. So to me, Hyrule Field is like Disney World. You know, it's gigantic in my brain. But then I went back and played the 3DS version recently, which actually is a really well done port. Like, they really cleaned it up. Grezzo did an awesome job on that. Grezzo always sounds like a cool Italian cousin I have, but it's actually a
Grezzo is like your cousin whose dad works at Nintendo. Yeah, Grezzo got to go in the Nintendo offices.
Hey, Grezzo, you got that remake for me?
Uncle Tony let him make the bushes.
But I went back and played Ocarina of Time recently, and I'm like, man, Hyrule Field is actually pretty small. My pizza fell over. Biggest problem in my adult life. But like, I'm really excited to see this in 2D because I think it's a cool reason to sort of revisit a game that I personally have replayed so many times.
Yeah.
Now there is the big elephant in the room that it's kind of illegal to do this.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go make your own fan games, but they're not selling it.
No. I mean, it's going to be curious to see how Nintendo handles it because I think that in the past they've definitely seen like that sort of fan creation as like some sort of a threat, or you know, maybe they're protecting their copyright. There is that kind of legal stuff that we don't fully grasp as fans, where we're like, but they were having a nice time. When in reality, if you don't actually actively defend a copyright, you kind of lose it.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta protect your turf. It's like prison rules.
Yeah.
But it's legal. I don't know. I hope that they let this slide. I think it's really cool. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see.